Welcome to this special edition of Facebook Live. Darcy Strickland along with the dancing Leroy Green. We are going to answer all of your questions about the new Marvel film coming out. And I am going to be your source today for dumb questions. I'm going to just put it out there, Leroy.
There's no dumb question.
Well, there are questions that you should have a point of reference on before you ask them.
No, I mean, this has been going on for 10 years.
Okay.
The Marvel MCU is what they call the Marvel Cinematic Universe, which started with Iron Man in 2007.
Okay, wait a minute. So we're going back 11 years.
About 11 years.
Because my point of reference right now is Black Panther that I saw last month.
Okay, Black Panther is an Avenger.
That's the first thing.
He's one character and a multitude of characters.
And let me say this. If you too have dumb questions, don't hesitate to post them right
There are
here.
no dumb questions.
As he just said, there are no dumb questions until I ask a question. Then he says, Darcy, that was dumb. Post your questions here, and then we'll make sure Leroy, who is the expert on all things Marvel, can answer that question for you. So go. Finish where you were 11 years ago.
Marvel had an idea to bring their characters to life, like basically to create a universe like the comic books.
Okay.
In the comic books, there are a lot of characters team up, heroes, villains die. They wanted to project that on screen. The first MCU movie, Marvel Cinematic Universe, was Iron Man in 2007. From there, they made 18 films.
Okay.
All of the films are connected.
All right.
But you don't have to watch all of them to understand what goes on. So you watch Black Panther.
Right.
You enjoyed Black Panther.
I enjoyed
without
Black
having
Panther.
to know anything else that this was a part of a larger universe.
Okay, all right.
So
now let's go straight to the film that opens on Friday and then bring us full circle to how that brings in each and every one of those other 18 films.
Okay, so Infinity War,
which opens on Friday.
Opens on Friday. It's this is the trailer right here. A bad guy by the name of Thanos.
Yes, I know Thanos.
Okay, he's looking for these 6 stones. They're called Infinity Stones.
Right.
Each stone represents a particular power. Try to rattle them off and try to get them all right. Space, time, mind, soul, power, and reality.
What happens if he gets all 6 of these stones?
He's literally a god.
Okay.
There's a point in the trailer where basically he takes a moon and throws it at some superheroes.
An actual moon.
And that he literally takes a planet and throws it at somebody.
Okay.
He has the power to do that if he gets all 6. Just one of these stones is a power in itself. And each of these stones are littered throughout the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Now this is a little bit of a love story, right? Because Thanos is in love with the woman and he wants the world for her, right?
Thanos believes in something called, how do I put this? He likes to just wipe out entire things.
Okay.
He believes death is something that should be balanced.
Because he can't die.
He can't. He's pretty much he's a god.
Okay.
But he wants to be a bigger god. Thanos runs around conquering planets, wiping out people. So give a perfect example how bad Thanos is. Thanos, this guy right here, has 2 adopted daughters.
Okay.
Gamora.
Yep. Like Sodom and Gomorrah? Okay.
Gamora and Nebula.
Okay.
These 2 women are his adopted daughters.
Gotcha.
How he adopted them was he wiped out their entire planets and then took them as his children and raised them as assassins.
And this is his act of good in the universe?
That's what he believes.
In his mind, this is his act of good.
So now these 2 women are in a group called the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Okay.
That was a movie. So these individuals are over here. They're in space.
Okay.
So then that was another movie.
The Guardians of the Galaxy.
So you didn't have to watch it. You don't have to watch all of them to understand. But this is just some information. Now,
I'm checking to make sure there are no questions.
Thanos's buddies are these guys over here.
Okay.
These are his villains who are going to help him track down these 6 stones.
And so these guys are Ebony Maw and Curvos Glaive.
So if you want to look in the book, they're called the Black Order.
Oh, okay, yeah. I remember seeing that in the trailer, the Black Order. Okay, so the Black Order, along with Thanos, are going to be working against all of the good guys. And every last one of the good guys is in Infinity War.
Yes.
Okay,
most of them, all of them are going to be up against Thanos.
Because from what I'm hearing, this is the biggest superhero movie in the world of superhero films.
Pretty much.
Because there's 76 different characters.
Pretty much.
Okay, so talk to me about the key characters, the good guys who will be fighting against Thanos, and help me remember why I know them.
Okay, so when we did this 2 years ago, we talked about a movie called Civil War, which was basically Captain America versus Iron Man. In the last Captain America movie called Civil War, there was a falling out between Iron Man and Captain America.
Okay, Iron Man is from Stark's construction or something like
he's
that,
Tony
right?
Stark, yeah.
Okay, so he had the...
Tony Stark is Iron Man.
Okay, gotcha. All right.
So Captain America,
I got a little
Captain
bit.
America, they had a falling out.
Yeah.
It's called the Civil War. Each one of these movies or things are based on a book. So they had a falling out. They're no longer together in the Avengers.
Captain America and
Iron Man are no longer. So they had a big
Captain America and Iron Man are no longer BFFs?
Nope.
Well, wait, why did that happen?
Because Captain America stuck up for his friend and his best friend named Bucky. Bucky was killed in World War II.
Yeah.
He didn't know it. Bucky came back as a super assassin and killed Iron Man's parents.
Well, that would split you up. That would do it.
You kill somebody's mama, you're not gonna be friends.
We're not
no
gonna
more.
be friends. It's hard to get past that.
Okay. You off somebody's parents.
Yeah, that's a big hurdle to jump.
We go fight.
There'll be some beef.
There was some beef. So Iron Man has his team. Captain America has his team.
Okay.
Now Thanos shows up and everybody's got to be friends again.
Because they got to go against Thanos. All right, I'm following you.
So there's some division. So the last movie that you saw was Black Panther.
That's true.
Black Panther and Wakanda have just been chilling, watching all this go down.
Oh,
so they're
minding their own business.
So remember at the end of the movie, he's like, I'm going to introduce Wakanda to the world. And everybody's like, these black people got, energy shields and spears, and they're just, people are wilding out.
Right.
So when Thanos shows up, one of the places he goes is Wakanda, because they try to hide some of these gems in Wakanda because it's the most technologically advanced place that they can protect them.
That thanks to Black Panther's sister.
Well, her sister and Tony Stark and a lot of these people, what they do is they get together because some of the Infinity Stones are already on Earth.
So why didn't we see any of the rest of these amazing people in Wakanda?
Because Wakanda is its own story. They wanted to basically introduce Wakanda and Black Panther to everybody before they integrate him in the rest of these movies. Now, you could see Black Panther in Civil War. That's the first time we see him on screen.
Okay, all right.
Now, when this movie hits, where did he go? Winter Soldier. Here he is. So this is the Winter Soldier, a.k.a. Bucky. Okay. Him and Captain America were in World War II together. Bucky supposedly died, came back to life. Captain America spent his last 3 movies trying to rescue his best friend. Then they find out that his best friend killed his other best friend's parents.
Right, gotcha.
So that's the falling out. So now they have to figure out how all of these guys can work together with all these different issues and problems. The Avengers are basically a giant family.
So list off the Avengers for me.
All of them?
Yes, so I can know who it is that I'll be looking for. Because we got Captain America, we got
the founding members of the Avengers for the MCU is Captain America, Iron Man, Tony Stark. You have Thor.
Yep. He has the hammer.
He had the hammer.
Where's his hammer?
His hammer got blown up in his last movie. So he no longer.
Why did he and his brother not get along?
Because his brother is named Loki, the god of mischief. He just does stuff. He just like.
Oh, okay.
You ever met that kid?
So if you were a superhero, you'd be Loki?
I'd be the Loki or the Thor or Hulk. Be raging all over the station. You know that kid that just.
Yeah.
That's Loki.
For me, it seemed like Loki felt like his dad didn't love him as much as he loved Thor.
That's part of it.
Okay. All right.
I mean, so these guys, so you have the original Avengers are Captain America, Iron Man, Hulk, Thor, Black Widow, and Hawkeye.
Those were the originals.
Those are the originals for the movie. So the original movie, where did the original movie go? So that's them right there. That's the movie right there.
These are the originals.
So they teamed up. Now, this is the interesting part. So they teamed up against Loki in this movie, who had an Infinity Stone given to him by Thanos, who wanted to conquer Earth.
Which one did he give him?
He gave him the Mind Gem.
Okay.
Which then they got back. Then they got into another fight, and the Mind Gem went into an android whose name is the Vision. Yes.
Okay.
So the Vision has an Infinity Gem on his forehead. So in the trailer, we see a moment where Corvus Glaive rips the Infinity Gem off his forehead and gives it to Thanos.
I saw that in the trailer.
Yep.
Okay, so Corvus is one of Thanos.
He's part of the Black. He's part of the Black Order.
Okay, perfect.
So,
all right, people are still watching. Nobody has asked a question yet. We've got all these figures in front of us. Let's just talk about.
Well, first, I want to say thank you to Scratch and Spin, Eric Woodard, and the guys at Second and Charles, because all of these are not mine. I got 3. Michael owns but maybe 4 or 5.
Right.
And the rest of them came from them because there's a lot of characters.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
one, I want to keep my woman by not buying all this stuff. And if I owned all of this stuff, I'd have to sleep at the station.
We're going to get back to this in just a second, but let's just talk about the phenomena that is Marvel, because you and Michael handle the News 19 Nerds Twitter handle, and you call yourself nerds affectionately. We love you guys. But why has this taken on, it almost seems like a life of its own in adults? Because you know the kids will love it, but why do adults love it
Adults
too?
love it as well. Marvel Comics has been around, I want to say, for maybe 65 years. Marvel Comics are everywhere. Just to give you an example, Marvel commissioned a book of, or basically alternate covers. So variant covers, and they were hip hop covers. So what they did was they took hip hop covers, got artists, and then they combined them and made hip hop covers for different characters. So if you remember, so for those people who liked Dr. Dre, they took the Dr. Dre, the Chronic album, and made a Doctor Strange variant cover for a comic book.
Yeah,
that's
amazing.
Now keep in mind, a lot of people, Killer Mike wrote a foreword in one of these books. Ta-Nehisi Coates, who writes for The Atlantic, is going to write Captain America. The GZA, members of the Wu-Tang Clan, have called themselves Tony Stark.
Oh, wow.
So, I mean,
Iron Man.
So the reason why this is a big phenomenon, Marvel has been around for years. So people have read these comics, they love these comics, and now they're seeing their favorite characters translated on the screen. And that's what Marvel Comics wanted. That's what the Marvel Universe is. These comics and these characters translated on screen so that everybody can enjoy them.
Tiffany just blew my mind. She said, don't forget adults love Transformers too.
Yeah.
We're going to have to get to that in a minute.
I ain't got time for that. But I mean, and another thing is, so you can read the comics and love the comics and not watch the movies. Or you can watch the movies and not know anything about the comics. And you can do either or you can do both. But what Marvel wanted was, they wanted to translate these books onto the silver screen.
Now, when I go on Friday to see Infinity War, I've only seen Black Panther, and I've only seen 30 minutes of, what's the one I just said, Stark?
Which one? Iron Man?
Iron Man.
Civil War.
And then I've only seen, a couple of minutes of another one. Will any of this make sense on Friday?
Because
all of this will still make sense?
All of this makes sense.
Okay.
And see, this is the thing. One of the wonderful things about these movies, so let's take somebody like Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange was an arrogant, very well-renowned doctor.
Right.
He got in a car accident, lost the use of his hands. He went to a mystical place to re-energize and heal his body. You can watch his movie and not watch anything else.
And it still makes
and
sense.
it still makes sense.
Okay.
Each one of these movies you can do that with. So when Infinity War comes out, it's going to be, they call them Easter eggs. It's going to be a nerd fest for certain people who's been keeping up with for years. But you can take your kids and watch it and just be
I was just about to say, it'll be a family-friendly event.
Family.
So Brent Holly says he needs this book. Where can he get this book?
He can go to any major retailer. He can pick it up. They made 2 versions of this. So this one has 30 covers in it. Then there's another volume that has another 30 covers in it. And so you can either buy the comics or you can just buy the book. So on this cover right here, you've got the Wu-Tang Clan, Jay-Z's Black Album for Black Panther,
Right.
Iron Man, that's 50 cents, Get Rich or Die Trying. That's why these movies are so big, because people have been reading these books for years, and now they get to see their favorite characters on screen.
Well, I remember one of the first things I started reading was a comic book. After Dr. Seuss, you get comic books, and that's what pushes a lot of kids into a love for reading. As a man, what do you say to parents who are trying to get their boys to read more?
I say, if you have a child and you want them to read, take them to the Richland County Library or whatever library you have. take them to the either it's a manga or a graphic novel section. There is a comic or trade paperback for them that they can get into. That's how I started reading. My dad was a Marine. He would leave, he would come back, and he'd bring comic books from all over the world, and I would read them.
Yeah.
And that spurred me to read other things, because a lot of these guys put things and subject matters from the real world in their books.
Right.
So then it sparks me to go, well, what does that mean?
Yeah.
What does that mean? Where did they get that idea from? So you go look up these other terms that you, as a child, don't know.
Yeah.
But they break it down because there are pictures that go with the words, and you understand it. There's a comic out there for anybody, whether you're LGBT, whether you're a young kid, whether you're a single mom. It doesn't matter. There's a comic out there for you. You just have to find what you like. These comics have been with me for years. I have a room that probably has too much stuff in it, but my cousin started reading because when he would come, one of my younger cousins would come over, and he would see the books and he would read the books, and that's how he started, and he's now an author.
How about that?
Yeah.
You want your kid to turn into a famous author? Get him a comic book. Leroy Green, it is a pleasure, my friend.
Appreciate it.
I hope my questions were not too simple.
Nope.
They weren't?
Nope.
Okay, all right. I hope you guys learned something. Everybody says they need that book, and so if you're looking for that book, look for Leroy Green. He'll be able to help
Just hit us up
provide
on
it.
News 19 on Twitter at News 19 Nerds, and we'll tell you where to get it.
We're going to wrap up this Facebook Live. Thank you all for joining us. We'll see you later.